Well, 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 if it isn't the monkey. Hello, all my guys and gals, and welcome back to the 7th and final part of ranking all the Ben 10 aliens. Last time we ranked the crappy reboots. Today, we rank every last one of them. And I mean all of them. The classic series, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, all the Ultimates from Ultimate Alien to Omniverse, all the fusions from the classic series and Omniverse, even the crappy reboots getting a part on this list. And since I didn't put a recap at the start of this video, let me tell you how this is gonna work. I'm going to be ranking these based on my personal bias on every single one of these aliens. And because apparently some people don't understand what bias is, look at the Alien Force video's comments, I'm ranking them based on how much I like each of the aliens. I'm not ranking them based on powers, I'm not ranking them based on usefulness, I'm not even ranking them based on design. I'm ranking them on how much I like each of the aliens. Nothing less and nothing more. Also, just for the people that aren't Ben 10 fans watching this out of curiosity, backstory of Ben 10. Kid finds watch in woods, turns into alien, can turn into 10 aliens. Simple as that. Also, this might be the longest video I ever post. And I always keep track of the longest videos. But this is a special, so that makes sense. Also, one last thing is an announcement. I made a playlist on my channel, which is just titled Ben 10, which is about Ben 10 stuff. But with this video added, it's only at 7. So, I'm gonna post 3 more Ben 10 videos to make it at 10. Because if there's not gonna be 10 aliens, there's gonna be 10 videos of me talking about Ben 10. And if you want a name for it, call it the Ben 10 10-a-thon. But with all that being said, let's get to the 88 aliens. God help me. I knew I was eventually gonna have to talk about this alien. This is... If you can't tell, I hate this alien. Fast Track is by far the most unoriginal, bootleg, absolute garbage alien in the entire Ben 10 series. And just for reference, in the reboot, there is literally an off-brand water hazard called Overflow, and a literal off-brand version of Upgrade called Bootleg! Yet somehow those aliens are still more original than this. So why do I hate this alien so much? Well, it's trying to replace one of my favorite aliens. If you can't tell by his name, his power's super speed. He's the speed alien. But he's not only the slowest speed alien, but he has no other powers. He's just speed! This alien is really just an off-brand version of Accelerate. And Genray was a better speed alien because of the fact that he could not only fly, but also shoot lasers that could numb the nervous system. So this alien's not only the slowest speed alien, but he has no other powers to boot. Okay, what about his design? He looks like an off-brand version of the Flash from DC. If there was an alien that actually looked like a superhero, it would be Fast Track, and it's a crappy-looking superhero. Like, look at Accelerate. He's a literal reptile or lizard. And being from a state that has a lot of lizards, I can tell you, those little guys are fast. And plus his sleek-looking design with the mask and the wheels, it just adds to the fact that he's supposed to be the speed alien. While this guy looks like he belongs in the roster of aliens from the reboot. In short, Fast Track is just a cheap ripoff of XLR8 with a crappier design, slower, and he's just genuinely a worse speed alien. Great, the second worst alien in the entire Ben 10 run. This is Overflow, aka off-brand water hazard. Come on, tell me they're not the same alien. Both of their powers involve shooting water, and they are both red and resemble a crustacean. I even doubt about calling this an original alien because this is just water hazard. Like, there's only 3 differences, which is A, the design, B, where he shoots the water from, and C, he can't absorb moisture out of the air like water hazard. And his design's okay, I guess, but he's trying to be water hazard. I mean, I still think Fast Track's worse than this, but Overflow is not Water Hazard. He is not him. All Overflow is the made-in-China version of Water Hazard. There's nothing original about him, and he's just a carbon copy of an actually cool alien. What the... I'm officially bewildered. Before I even say this alien's name, what were they thinking? But I'll say his name now. His name is Gax. If you can't tell what alien species he is, he's a part of Vilgax's race. And yeah, I get it. Aliens that have been in the Omnitrix have been villains before. Zescare, Ghost Freak. Malware, Upgrade. Maltruant, Clockwork. But that's different. Those aliens were in the Omnitrix way before they were villains. Vilgax has always been a villain. Why would you give Ben one for him to use? If you don't know his powers, he has all the powers of Vilgax. He's super strong, he can shoot lasers and crap. I don't care about the powers, I don't care about the design. It's Vilgax as one of Ben's aliens. This time I'm not judging it based on design or powers or whatever. I'm judging it on the base of fact that Vilgax has always been a villain and always will be a villain, and why would you give Ben him as an alien? Vilgax is one of the most evil, the most devious sons of bitches in the entire galaxy. He has conquered 10 separate worlds. He wants the Omnitrix so he can make an army of Ben's aliens. Just because he wants to take over the universe. Hell, in Omniverse, he wiped out every single Ben 10 in every single universe except for one that didn't have an Omnitrix. So he committed mass genocide on a 16-year-old teenager. Yet the freaks that made this crappy reboot thought it would be a good idea to make him one of Ben's 10 aliens. Whoever thought of this needs to be fired immediately. This is not right on so many levels. Hell, while looking for this specific photo, I found a comic explaining my basic opinion on this alien. Classic Ben. No, why? Vilgax is a total creep. Why would you want to transform into him? UAF Ben. Oh man, this is all kinds of wrong. Omniverse Ben. Dude, come on, seriously, change back. And yeah, I get it, it's a fan-made comic, but come on, all of those Bens would definitely say that. Especially 10-year-old Ben. In my opinion, Gax is the biggest insult to Ben 10 ever. Gax is the worst. Great, we go from complete ripoff to complete insult to now completely useless. This is Zurge. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about Wakatrout being useless when this guy exists. His power is that he can merge with other aliens like him. So he's extremely useful when an army of these things show up, but on their own, these species of alien are completely powerless. And since they don't have arms or legs, they can't fight at all. And he has no extra ways to escape his enemies. At least Wakatrout's slippery. He can do literally nothing. He is the most useless alien in the entirety of Ben 10. Well, if it isn't the most useless fusion in all of Ben 10. This is Stink Arms. He's a clear fusion between Forearms and Stinkfly. Individually, these aliens are okay, but when put together in the Ben 10 fusion style, they are the worst. He's not as strong as Forearms, and also he's such a chunky boy that he can't even fly. All he can do is super jump, which Forearms can already do on his own. And what about his design? He mixes Forearm's large body with Stinkfly's face, wings, and tail. And it doesn't really work together. Like, the wings are too small, first off, and the tail just looks kind of awkward on Forearm's body. And this alien not only does not look cool, but he's just genuinely a more useless version of the aliens he's made up of. Stink Arms is one of the worst fusions in all of Ben 10. Well, if it isn't the overgrown rooster. Since this isn't UAF anymore, Ben doesn't shout out his aliens' names, so I have to say their names now. This is Kickin' Hawk, and his name basically describes exactly what he does. He's a giant chicken that kicks things. And sometimes punches them, but most of the time kicks them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Kick and Hawk. Only because this is what, the fifth brawler type alien? I mean, there's Forearms from the original series, Humongousaur and Wrath from Alien Force, Armadillo from Ultimate Alien, and this series added Kick and Hawk and another one we're going to talk about later. What I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of aliens that's power is strictly just punching things. Well, in Kick and Hawk's case, kicking things, but that doesn't matter. He still doesn't have any interesting powers. His design's okay, it's not the worst, but apparently Kickin' Hawk's Ben's best hand-to-hand fighter, which I find that very hard to believe, considering the other aliens like him. But other than that, I just find Kickin' Hawk to be kinda mediocre. This alien. This is Boll Weevil, aka the alien that turned me away from Omniverse. Yeah, I thought they were gonna do a Teen Titans Go thing. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Boll Weevil. I don't hate him, but yeah, I don't like him either. Literally what his power is throwing up whatever that is that he's rolling around, rolls it around, and then chucks it at people because apparently the stuff he threw up is explosive. Basically, he's kind of like a bizarre dung beetle. It just rolls balls around. It's original, I'll give it that, but it's pretty lame. And it's not even one of the joke aliens, like he's one of Ben's serious fighting aliens. Why? Don't ask me. But Boll Weevil is just a weird little guy that I really do not like that much. Well, here's the alien I was going to talk about later. This is Bullfrag. Not Bullfrog, Bullfrag. He's just another guy that punches things, except he's a frog, so he's got a long tongue and can hop high. Well, more accurately an incursion, but who's keeping track? But yeah, that's literally all he can do. Also, he has a smooth voice. Honestly, the only reasons why I like Bullfrag more than I like Kickin' Hawk is because of the fact, first off, he has some extra added powers like jumping high and a long tongue. Also, his voice is really smooth, and I like it. But yeah, Bullfrag is just kind of boring, but just a little less boring than Kickin' Hawk. Well, if it isn't the most disappointing Ultimate Alien of all time, this is Ultimate Wild Mutt. And yes, dear viewer, Ultimate Wild Mutt can talk. Oh yeah, and that's the only extra power this thing has. Other than that, he is just Wild Mutt, with the only differences being he has a bony mohawk thing on his head, he has a tail, and he's red and can talk. That's it. Look, I love Wild Mutt, but they not only took away one of the main reasons why I like Wild Mutt because he can't talk, barring that, Ultimate Wild Mutt's just a recolor of normal Wild Mutt. Anything Ultimate Wild Mutt can do, normal Wild Mutt could do just as well. Though one thing I do have to say is I really do like his design. I just wish he had different powers, that way there'd be a reason why to call him Ultimate Wild Mutt. In short, Ultimate Wild Mutt is just Wild Mutt that can talk. A little less disappointing than Ultimate Wild Mutt, but still pretty disappointing. This is Ultimate Big Chill. Now, Ultimate Big Chill's a little different, but not by much. He still freezes people, that's for sure, but it's with fire instead of ice. How that even makes sense, I have no clue, but that's how he does it. Other than changing his breath, he's still just normal Big Chill. Which normal Big Chill is cool, but when you're an Ultimate, you need to be a better version of the original alien. This is just the normal alien, but with fire breath that freezes people, instead of ice breath that freezes people. Also, me personally, I've never been a huge fan of Ultimate Big Chill's design. It's just the normal Big Chill design, but with more fire aesthetic. It's like putting flames on a car. It just does not look right. Also, Big Chill just looks better in blue than he does in red. Though, Ultimate Big Chill does get some pretty cool lines like this, for example. Now it's just you, me, and fire so cold it burns. Like, that's a pretty cold line, even for an ice alien. But even with that, Ultimate Big Chill is ultimately still a disappointment. Wow, that really does not work. This is Heatjaws. He's a fusion between Heat Blast and Ripjaws. If you don't know, Heat Blast's only weakness is water, and Ripjaws will suffocate to death if he's not in water. And because of the fact this alien doesn't have Ripjaw's feet, it can't turn into a tail. So he can't even swim well underwater. That's what you would think at least. But actually, from the episode, that's not how it works. It actually seems like Heatjaw's fire doesn't work unless he is underwater. Because when he was on land, the fire extinguished the minute he tried to shoot it. But when he was underwater, it worked. And his design isn't half bad. I love Heat Blast, so I like the arms and legs. And Ripjaw's design's really cool, so I'm fine with his head and body. In short, this alien, while being the definition of a double-edged sword, is actually pretty kinda useful. And isn't half bad looking. Heatjaws is okay. Well, we gotta start somewhere. Might as well be with the worst alien in the original series. This, my dear viewers, is Frankenstrike. And he makes an appearance in the original series and in Omniverse. He's basically a part of a group of aliens that could be classified with Halloween and horror. And he is not only my least favorite of the horror Halloween aliens, but he's probably the most lame and least creative one. Like, he's literally just Frankenstein, except he has electric powers. That's it. That's the only difference between the original. And the only reason why this alien's right where it is because of the fact it's been done 1,000 times. And it doesn't really bring anything new to Frankenstein or anything. It's literally just Frankenstein with lightning powers. That's it. And that's why he's the worst alien in the original series. We go from the first lamest Halloween alien to the second lamest. This is Benwolf, or as he's called in Omniverse, Blitzwolfer. Blitzwolfer is exactly like Frankenstrike, just a teeny bit more original, with his design being reminiscent of a classic werewolf, except with a couple of extra added flares that I do appreciate. And his power is a sonic hell, which he splits his mouth apart like a goddamn demigorgon in order to use. Don't get me wrong, this alien's cool and all, but honestly I find other aliens' powers and designs to be a lot better than this. Even the Omniverse one. For the people who know what alien this is, they're probably like, why the hell isn't he higher on the list? And for the people that don't know what alien this is, they're probably like, what kind of alien is this? This, my dear viewers, is Wakatrout. And he is the most useless alien in all of Ben 10. Wakatrout has no powers. Not a single one. And since he doesn't have any long arms, he can't physically fight anyone. The only thing Wakatrout can do is run, and because he's a fish, he's super slippery. From a practical standpoint, this alien sucks. From a funny standpoint, this alien's amazing. Yeah, I get why people don't like him. Some people don't like troll aliens. And they don't think he's cool because of the fact he has no powers and he can't do anything. And after, 4 series, you get kind of tired of the whole Ben not getting the right alien trope. Especially when the alien is the most useless thing in the universe. But I don't know what's wrong with me, I find it funny. It's not like they use him in every single episode. He's paced out pretty well throughout the seasons. And he's not even in every season. He's in every now and then alien. I like Wakatrout, not because of the fact that he's cool or has something cool about him. No, I just find him kind of funny. Also, I really wish Ben still had the Ultimatrix, just so I could see an ultimate Wakatrout. Oh, this alien. This is Pesky Dust, and whatever it is, has the power to manipulate people's dreams. I mean, it's an original and really cool power, but not that interesting of one. Also, the design's okay, and the voice is, much to be desired. Not much to say about this alien other than the fact that it's an okay alien. Yes. This little This is Buzzshock, one of the most hated aliens I've seen in Ben 10. Most people's complaints with Buzzshock is that he's little and his voice is irritating. But that's what Buzzshock's supposed to be. Little and irritating. But anyway, Buzzshock is an alien that's appeared in both the original series and Omniverse. But this alien's powers consist of absorbing and expelling electricity, and he's able to travel through different power lines and anything that has electricity in it. That's why Buzzshock's normally used as an alien that Ben has to catch instead of an alien that Ben turns into. But Buzzshock's design ranges from okay to awful because of the fact that it gets worse over the years. Buzzshock's a lot more original than Frankenstrike, but even though I don't hate Buzzshock, he is still a pretty lame alien. Well, if it isn't the funniest gag alien in all of Ben 10. This is the worst. Yes, his name is actually the worst. Basically, what the worst power is that he's indestructible. He cannot be destroyed. The one problem with the worst is even though he's indestructible, it doesn't mean that he can't still feel the pain. Also, just like Wakatrout, he can't physically fight. So he's literally just a glorified punching bag. I really find this alien funny because of the fact that he's basically immortal, but it doesn't matter because of the fact he can still feel the pain. Surprisingly, the alien called the worst is not the worst. Oh yeah, this alien. This is Topic. And actually, just like with another Omniverse alien, the name of this alien, at least, first came from the classic series, actually. But since Topic never made an actual on-screen appearance, he doesn't class as a classic alien. But basically, Topic's power is that he's so scary looking under that metal helmet that he physically turns people white as a ghost. He's so terrifying he doesn't need to fight. He just genuinely just has to look at them without that metal plating in front of his face. But alas, this alien was used only a handful of times in Omniverse. Even though there's 8 seasons with 10 episodes each, Topic was only included in a couple of them. But anyway, off that, Topic is a really cool looking alien, and honestly I just genuinely really like him. To be honest, until I started making this list, I kind of forgot this one existed. If you don't know this alien's name is Spitter. And just like with the horror/Halloween aliens, Spitter is a part of a group I like to call the Gross. Basically, these are the aliens you would count to be gross out aliens, or if you were to see it in real life, it would be absolutely foul. So if you can't guess, Spitter's power is he has the ability to spit up some form of substance. It's actually pretty gross but cool at the same time. This alien, again, appeared in the original series and in Omniverse. But to be dead honest with you, the original design's the best one. Like, this design genuinely looks really cool, and I love how imaginative it is. Honestly, if he had more appearances in the original series, or hell, even in Omniverse, I would put him higher, but he just didn't make that many appearances, so I'm not going to put him higher, even though he is, in my opinion, a cooler looking gross out alien than even Stinkfly. So, one of my personal favorites, but I think that other aliens are a little better and have more screen time than him, so he gets that disadvantage. Oh, we're getting into the territory of pissing off die-hard Ben 10 fans. If you don't know this alien, this is Cannonbolt, one of the most beloved aliens in the entirety of Ben 10. He has appeared in the original, UAF, Omniverse, and even the crappy reboot. And it makes sense, this alien's a fan favorite. I just personally really do not like Cannonbolt. His powers consist of rolling into a ball and rolling around as a ball, and the ball is basically bulletproof. Okay, kind of cool? But my main problem with Cannonbolt is the fact that the original Cannonbolt looks so f***ing ugly, like it's not even funny. The eyes just look really off, and the mouth, oh my god, the mouth with his teeth, oh god, it looks like somebody punched him square in the face and all of his teeth shattered. Like, Cannonbolt genuinely looks hideous in the original series. Thankfully, his design got better, with my favorite design of his being the UAF design, which actually looks pretty cool. But my main problem with this version of Cannonbolt, that from UAF onward, Cannonbolt gets dogged more than Humongousaur does, and that's saying a lot. This man Cannonbolt be losing every single fight he's in. The original series is when he peaked in usefulness, and as I just stated, the original series has the ugliest design for him. Either way you slice it for me, Cannonbolt is a lose-lose. If it's the original series, he's ugly as all sin, and if it's any other series, he'd be getting his ass handed to him every single time he come out. Cannonbolt sucks. And the only reason why he's this high is because of the fact that he is pretty original compared to the aliens before. And he had more screen time than Spitter.
Ah, yes, the last horror alien.
This is Vampire, aka the last horror/Halloween alien. And if you can't tell by his name and design, he's based off Count Dracula, aka Vampire. What do I think about his design? It's okay. I mean, it looks a little more original than every other vampire in the world. Like, I can tell it's not just Count Dracula. Like, the bat-like wingsuit's pretty cool, and I like the sharp claws and the way the mask is designed. A lot more creative than Frankenstrike, that's for sure. But when it comes to powers, he's not the most original. The only thing he's got that normal vampires don't really have is the ability to fly without turning into a bat form. But even then, there's still some vampires that can fly without turning into a bat. Speaking of that, Vampire has the whole vampire's stick. He feeds off life energy, which is basically what vampires do by drinking blood. He can mind control people, which I've seen a lot of vampires do that. And of course, yes, he can turn into a bat. And his main weakness is the sun. With Vampire, when it comes to design, it's okay, but when it comes to his powers, they're pretty basic. Ah yes, one of the only good Ben 10 horror aliens. This is Ben Mummy, or as he's called in Omniverse, Snarrow. Snarrow makes an appearance in the original Ben 10 and Omniverse. This alien is obviously inspired by the Mummy, and his power is that since he's made out of bandages, he can wrap people up in the bandages. His power's okay, but his design is by far one of the most creative when it comes to the Halloween aliens. Like, most mummies are depicted with a dead body in the middle of them, so having one that doesn't have a dead body and it's just flat out bandages, that's pretty cool. And while his Omniverse design is a lot better than his original design, this design still rocks. Ben Mummy, or Snarrow, is a pretty cool addition to the Omnitrix. Well, if it isn't the second ultimate we got to see in this series. This is...
Ultimate Swampfire!
I'll say this, his powers changed. He still has fire, but now it's blue. I think he can still control plants. But Ultimate Swampfire loses his regeneration, so the one major thing that made this alien so useful is now gone. But his regeneration was replaced with advanced durability. Like, there aren't 1,000 other aliens that are extremely durable, and also are way cooler than Swampfire. Also, he can't throw seeds to summon plants anymore, aka the only original power he had. Now he throws seed bombs. So, I guess we're just completely ripping off Wildvine now. Okay. And what about his design? It got so much worse. Like, normally I gripe about the design not looking original, but oh my god, this does not look good. The arms look weird, the face looks even dumber than the original, and his back is too plump. The only reason why he's this high on the list is because he looks slightly better than Gravitack. His physical design, while looking worse than Ultimate Big Chills, is more original. And he is a lot more than just a glorified version of the original, like Wild Mutt. Honestly, if it wasn't for his competition, Ultimate Swampfire would be last place easily. No matter what they do, in my opinion, this alien can't be done right. Ultimate Swampfire sucks. Told you wouldn't like where I put him. This is Actually, you know what? I'll just let him introduce himself.
Swampfire!
For some reason, this version of Ben shouts all of his aliens' names after he transforms into them. For some reason. But anyway, I really don't like Swampfire that much. He's not a bad alien. He's actually a very versatile alien, but to me, he just kind of seems lazy. I get it, with over 70 aliens in the series, there's going to be a bit of lapse with powers. But literally all Swampfire is a fusion between Heat Blast and Wildvine. And he only really has one ability that's original to him, but even that's kind of a ripoff of another alien. So basically, he secretes a methane gas which allows him to use fire, which explains the fire in Swampfire. And he can control and talk to plant life just like Wildvine. Literally, the only original powers that he has is, well, being able to throw seeds and grow his own plants, which actually is the only original power he's got. But he also has insane regeneration powers. But where have I seen that before? Okay, so his powers are kind of lame. What about his design? How do I say this without offending every single Swampfire lover out there? There isn't a way. He's ugly. Like, his torso and body and everything, that looks cool. But God, the head. Good God, the head. It looks so dumb on him. I can't even fathom it. And Omniverse somehow makes this worse. I get the design choice, Swampfire, so it makes sense for him to have red and orange petals around his head. But wouldn't it make more sense and look a lot better if his head looked plant-like and his entire body looked plant-like, but around his head was an actual fire? Now that would look cool. But even then, his eyes, oh god, his eyes, they've always put me off. In short, he's basically a cheap ripoff of Heat Blast and Wildvine while looking ugly as hell. A useful alien, but definitely not one of my favorites. Look, it's the most useless alien in Ben 10. This is Ripjaws, the first out of the original 10 we're going to be covering in this video. But as I said, Ripjaws is the most useless alien Ben has ever had. Ripjaws is the water alien, basically. He can breathe underwater, he can turn his legs into like a mermaid tail, and his jaws are strong enough to bite through steel. Now his powers sound good, but his disadvantage is that he can't breathe on land, because he's a fish. So if he stays on land for too long, he'll suffocate to death. Which makes him about as effective as Aquaman. Basically completely useless. But I have to admit, Ripjaws has one of the best designs out of the original 10. Like, seriously, that looks so cool. Oh yeah, also Ripjaws appears in the original Ben 10, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, and even a special episode of the crappy reboot. He may be the most useless out of the original 10, but he's one of the coolest looking ones, and his powers are pretty cool. Oh, you. Well, this is... And he is by far the most boring alien. Honestly, it was pretty hard picking between Jetray and Swampfire. Jetray's only made an appearance in UAF and in the crappy reboot. That's just sad. But the reason why this alien's so lame is because of its powers. He's just a glorified Stinkfly. The one thing I can give this alien is that he's the fastest alien in Ben's Omnitrix. Which I resent because I stand with XLR8. And apparently he can shoot lasers that can numb the nervous system. And he can shoot them out of his eyes and tail. Okay, not bad. But it's his design where I think he's really flawed. It's way too simple. Like, I get the aesthetic, he's supposed to be a stingray, but you know, he flies, so he's Jetray. Literally, all I see with Jetray is Ray. He's literally just a glorified stingray. I'd like some jet parts on, Jetray. And I get it, he's as fast, if not faster than a jet, but still, add some jet to your Ray! I get a good amount of people like this alien, but me personally, I find Jerryrig to be kinda boring. Not ugly like Swampfire, but boring. Well, if it isn't the smartest alien that Ben can turn into. This is Gray Matter. Gray Matter has appeared in the original series, Omniverse, and the crappy reboot. I don't really have that much to say about Gray Matter. Gray Matter's species is pretty important to the story of Ben 10 because he's a Galvan, and the original creator of the Omnitrix is also a Galvan. But other than being extremely intelligent, he doesn't have much going for him. Like, other than being hyper intelligent, Gray Matter has no powers. Also, he's one of Ben's smallest aliens, so while being hard to catch, he's still just a tiny little smart guy. And yeah, I get it, Gray Matter's supposed to, represent that muscles can only get you so far without using your brain. For the original 10, Gray Matter's great for that. But once you start bringing in aliens from other series and put them all together, Gray Matter just kinda sucks. Okay, not bad. Not that good either, but not bad. This is Diamond Matter. He's a fusion between Diamond Head and Gray Matter. Diamond Matter is not the worst, but not the best. I'm sure he's nowhere near as durable as normal Diamond Head, but he's still going to be pretty durable. And he's not going to be as smart as normal Gray Matter, but he's still going to be pretty smart. But this alien that makes a pretty useless alien, Gray Matter, actually useful. Also, his design is actually pretty good. I like his design. In short, Diamond Matter's actually a pretty useful alien. I mean, not as useful as Diamond Head himself, but he's way more useful than Gray Matter is. Okay, another okay fusion. This is Uprig. He's a fusion between Upgrade and Jerryrig. Uprig's a little more practical, but all we see him do in the show with Upgrade's powers is stretch to help him build stuff. And building stuff is just what Jerryrig does normally. Like, he's a lot more useful than the original series' fusions, but Uprig still isn't that useful. Also, I'm not a big fan of Uprig's design just because they use Omniverse Upgrade for this, and Omniverse Upgrade looks kinda dumb. But other than that, Uprig has a decent design. But other than that, Uprig's just a glorified version of normal Jerryrig. Like, he's better than the original series fusions, but he's still not that good. Or cool. Oh yes, you. This is not my favorite alien, but he's pretty good. Basically, Jerryrig's power is the ability to destroy stuff really well and put it back together. Which that's basically what Gray Matter was. And honestly, I like Jerryrig. Like, not the Ultimate Alien version, this just looks ugly. Personally, I like the Omniverse design better. Like, in Ultimate Alien, he looks like an actual demon, while in Omniverse, he looks like a gremlin. Which honestly, looks better as a gremlin than a demon. A demon really doesn't work. Barring that, Jerryrig is really good at destroying things and putting them back together, or making new things that might be better than what he already destroyed. And honestly, in my opinion, Jerryrig's way better than Gray Matter. Why are my favorite aliens as Ultimates such disappointments? This is Ultimate Gravitack. And since most of the Omniverse Ultimates didn't get much time to shine, we'll give them a pass on their powers, but not on design. And I'm not a big fan of Ultimate Gravitack's design. The little body that looks like a moon with the big arms just does not look as good as the original design. Like, I get what they were going for, and with the powers, they're a little more original than, say, Ultimate Wild Mutt. And I do like the little planet Gravitax floating around him. He just does not look that cool. And this photo of Ben turning into Ultimate Gravitack, he not only doesn't look good, but he looks genuinely worse. But Ultimate Gravitack is pretty lame compared to the original. well, you're the first of your kind. This is... aka the first magnet alien. And for a first attempt, he's actually pretty cool. I mean, his powers are pretty basic. He has the ability to control any metal, because he's a walking magnet. Also, he can create a force field which bounces all types of metal off of him, which is, again, pretty cool. And his design's passable. It's not my favorite design, but it's passable. Honestly, he would be higher on the list if this guy didn't exist. And that alien shows the true potential of an imagination with this concept. We'll talk about him in the Omniverse video. This is about Lodestar. And Lone Star is a pretty okay alien, but not the best magnet alien. Oh boy. This is... I know I trashed on normal Cannonbolt a lot, but Ultimate Cannonbolt's actually a lot better than normal Cannonbolt. Does he have any new powers? No. Just spikes. Are there any specific parts of his design that make him stand out from any other Cannonbolt? No. Is he just a normal version of Cannonbolt that just looks a little different and Ultimate plastered on him? Yes. But does Ultimate Cannonbolt have better colors than normal Cannonbolt and also doesn't look ugly as sin? Yes! Ultimate Cannonbolt is my favorite form of Cannonbolt because he's never looked like this. He's got my favorite color scheme out of all the Cannonbolts, and his face looks actually cool. Most people say Ultimate Cannonbolt is just a carbon copy of normal Cannonbolt, but I say Ultimate Cannonbolt is a way better version of Cannonbolt. Oh yeah, you exist. This is... Chromastone! And honestly, he's literally just Walmart Diamond Head. So basically, Chromastone is a part of the same species as Diamond Head, which are called Crystal Sapiens. And also, Chromastone specifically is supposed to be like a deity that brings back the planet after it gets destroyed. Which he does after Vilgax blows up the planet. But he wasn't able to bring back all of its people, but Ben, as Diamond Head, was. So he's basically advertised to be a stronger version of Diamond Head. But honestly, if I had the choice between choosing Diamond Head and Chromastone, I'm going Diamond Head every day, baby. And literally his only power is to absorb energy, aka like lasers and electricity, and then expel it back out in the form of a laser. Okay, kinda cool, but there is a limit to the amount of energy you can absorb, and later on, again, there is another alien that is way better at doing that. But other than that, he's just a weaker version of Diamond Head without any of Diamond Head's abilities. Not a single one. He can't morph any of his body parts, he can't summon crystals, he can't even regenerate, he can't do anything. The only thing he has other than that is flying. And Ben doesn't even know how to do that! And his design is even kinda off. Like, the purple crystals look good, but the rock part, I really don't like the rock part. I wish there was more crystal. Seriously, Chromastone kinda sucks. But the only reason why he's this high on the list is because of the fact of how small the list is, and plus I kinda like his charisma. And his voice is pretty cool. But other than that, Chromastone is just the Walmart version of Diamond Head. How did this alien only appear in one series? He's unique. But anyway, this is... Chameleon! And if you can't tell by his name, he's the only alien that can actually go invisible. I mean, yeah, there's Ghost Freak, but he goes invisible and intangible at the same time. But that's more like Big Chill. No, this alien actually goes physically invisible. Or at least it can camouflage itself to where it can blend into its surroundings. And honestly, even though it doesn't look like a chameleon, and it looks more like a salamander, it's still a really cool design. Like, how did this alien only appear in Ultimate Alien? Like, it's cool. In short, Chameleon's a unique addition to the Omnitrix, and I really like him.
And now
The end is near.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out. For the people that don't know, this is Forearms, one of the most beloved aliens out of the original 10. He was in the original series, he was an Ultimate Alien, he was in Omniverse, and he's of course in the crappy reboot. Everything I've ever seen related to the original Ben 10 aliens, he has been on top a lot of the times. So that's why I'm saying, hear me out. But me personally, I think Forearms is kind of boring. Like, yeah, he's a cool alien. I mean, he's built like your average gym bro with 4 arms, but still. All he is the strength alien, and there's much better strength aliens than him. Like, the idea of 4 arms is a fun idea, and I really do like the design of 4 arms, but just compared to some other aliens, he's kinda boring. I'm not saying he's bad, I'm just saying he's boring. Well, if it isn't the monkey. This is...
Spider Monkey!
And this is one of the aliens I changed my opinion about after rewatching Alien Force. Now, as a little youngster, I didn't realize how powerful Spider Monkey actually is. I thought he was just this weak little dude that Ben just used for agility. But rewatching this is honestly the most terrifying alien Ben's ever turned into. And let me explain why. So Ben obviously names his aliens, and he named this one Spider Monkey, right? But all the aliens have their own species name, and these things are called arachnochimps. So technically, they're space chimpanzees. Do you know how terrifying a chimpanzee is on Earth? Here's an example. A chimp ripped off a guy's Oscar Mayer just because he brought his pet chimp a birthday cake. This chimp really violated this man just over a birthday cake. So yeah, chimps aren't anything to mess with. And the fact that these maniacs made a chimp with 4 arms and can shoot webs is even worse. But Spider Monkey's powers is basically what a spider can do. He can shoot webs out of his tail and he can climb on walls. And he's very agile. And Spider Monkey is very strong, just like his realistic brothers. Oh yeah, I also like Spider Monkey's design. I like the blue color scheme on him. But other than that, this alien would be a straight up menace in real life. Hey, an actual original alien that isn't a complete insult to the entire series, isn't a complete ripoff of an old alien, and isn't completely worthless. We're making progress, people. This is Slapback. Of course he has a stupid name. Can't have it perfect, can't we? But this alien's like Ditto or Echo. He can clone himself. And the more he clones himself, the smaller he gets. Okay, so pretty cool powers so far, might be better than Ditto. But he can only clone himself if he slaps his back. There's the thing that makes Ditto and Echo better. Why can't he just clone on command? He would be so much more useful like that. And plus he has to slap his own back. Do you know how hard it is to slap your own back? Oh yeah, another weird thing is that the more clones there are, the stronger and heavier this alien gets. Shouldn't that be the other way around, where he's super strong at the start and then he gets weaker as he starts to clone himself? No, why should I expect logic out of the people that made this piece of crap? I mean, they made Vilgax one of Ben's aliens, so what do I expect? And Slapback's design, while definitely not being the greatest, is okay. Like, it's not the worst. I kinda like how his skin's like metal, it's cool. But other than that, Slapback's an okay alien, which is a gem in this piece of crap. Not better than Ditto or Echo, but he's okay. Well, if it isn't the first gross out alien. This is Stinkfly. He's appeared in the original series and Omniverse. And I know there's gonna be the people that say also the reboot, but that's not Stinkfly. That is not Stinkfly. Stinkfly is a part of the original 10, and also I count as a part of the gross. And his powers are obviously flight, he has a very sharp tail, and he can shoot like a mucus type thing out of his eyes and mouth, which ranges from being super sticky to being flammable to being non-flammable and just a gross out mucus stuff. It's kind of confusing how the mucus works. Definitely not one of my favorite aliens, but he's alright. He's good enough for what he's meant to be, which is the flying alien. And plus, he brings a unique and creative twist to something that normally would just be boring, which is a flying alien. One more thing, is it just me, or did I always confuse the Omnitrix logo for his eye? Even though it's the 4 things on the side of his head that are his eyes. That a big brain. This is Ultimate Gray Matter. Well, technically this version is called Ultimate Albedo, but since Albedo is a Galvin, which is what Gray Matter is, he's an Ultimate Gray Matter. This is what an Ultimate Gray Matter would look like as Ben. Unlike his average counterpart though, he does have powers. I don't remember them specifically, and I just tried to research them and I couldn't find anything. But I do know he is pretty powerful in this state. Also, his intelligence is extremely heightened in this state. Honestly, Ultimate Gray Matter is pretty good with powers. Design, on the other hand, oh good god. He is so unbelievably ugly. He looks like a budget MODOK. I just really do not like the design. I don't know if it's the animation or something, but it does not look good. And the third eye just looks awkward. I mean, I get the design choices, I just don't like them that much. Even though Ultimate Gray Matter looks pretty ugly, he is still a very useful alien, and a lot more useful than normal Gray Matter. Oh, well, this is Upchuck. He's seen in the original Ben 10, UAF, and Omniverse. Being another member of the Gross group of aliens, this is supposed to be a comic relief alien. Which I'm fine with, because while the idea of Upchuck's kinda stupid, how they execute him is actually pretty cool. His powers are very simple. He eats stuff, he throws up plasma puke. Right there, that's it. And this is the one time where I find something like that acceptable, because they make something that normally would be absolutely vile and not funny at all, is actually kind of funny because of the fact that he shoots literal laser vomit. He's quite literally puking on his enemy's face to win the fight. Upchuck's concept is absolutely vile, but since it's executed so well in the show, he's not only one of the fan favorites, but also just genuinely a really good alien. Wow, that is something. This is Big Chuck. He's a fusion between Waybig and Upchuck. All I have to say about Big Chuck is that he is literally just a supersized version of Upchuck. He is nowhere near as big as normal Waybig, obviously, but still. But other than that, he's just Upchuck. He has the tongue, he eats people, and he shoots lasers out of his mouth. The only reason why he's this high is because he's a lot more useful than normal Upchuck because of how big he is. And his design's okay. The legs could be a little shorter in my opinion. Upchuck having long legs just does not look right. But other than that, he looks okay. In short, Big Chuck is just a very large Upchuck that has an okay design. Oh yeah. This is Wildvine. He's appeared in the original Ben 10 and Omniverse. Wildvine is one of a couple plant aliens. Basically, he has the power to control plant life. Also, you see those seeds on his back? Yeah, those are bombs. Yeah, this is one of the only aliens that have explosive weaponry on him. And it's a plant alien. The plant alien has bombs. Oh yeah, he can also extend his limbs to where he can swing around like Spider-Man. But I genuinely really like Wildvine. He has a really cool design. His powers are amazing, especially the bombs. And he's just genuinely a really creative alien. Well, if it isn't the smallest alien in Ben 10. This little guy's name is... This is the alien I was talking about earlier, which whenever somebody makes a video like this, usually puts Nanomeg in the Alien Force roster. And the reason why is because of the fact that Nanomeg didn't first appear in Alien Force. He actually first appeared in a live-action movie called Ben 10 Alien Swarm. Now, personally, I haven't watched this movie because of the fact that I watched a clip from a different live-action Ben 10 movie, and live-action gray matter will forever haunt my nightmares. But anyway, Nanomech is basically a little alien microchip, aka he is tiny. This guy is literally the size of a fly. So I'm sure there's gonna be the people like, why is he this high on the list? Well, it's simple. He's my favorite tiny alien. Like, seriously, he's the size of a fly, so he's going to be pretty hard to see. Also, he can get into cracks of armor and destroy it from the inside. And plus, he can shoot a tiny little laser out of his eye, which is really cool. He's probably the most unique tiny alien, that's why I love him. But other than that, Nanomech's an amazing little guy.
Ho, the big one.
This, my friends, is Waybig. And this is Ben's largest alien. He's appeared in the original, the UAF series, Omniverse, and even the crappy reboot. This alien is cool for a multitude of reasons. Like, this dude is probably taller than a skyscraper. And all of his designs throughout the series range from heat to okay. My favorite design of his being from UAF. It's just the most slick. Also, he has another power other than making the Iron Giant look like a children's toy. And that's, just to casually cross his arms together and shoot a f***ing laser beam. So he's not only the size of a skyscraper, but he can also shoot a laser beam. Waybig is way overpowered. The only reason why Waybig isn't higher on the list is because of the fact his designs, while I do like them, do look either too insect-like or too robotic. Like I said, he looked the best in UAF. Other than that, Waybig is way cool. Finally, an actually good alien! This is Shockrock, aka the only reason why this show is better than Teen Titans Go, and easily the best alien coming out of the crappy reboot. This alien is actually cool. I didn't know it was possible for the people that created the show to be this creative, but I guess every now and then people have a stroke of genius. Shockrock's completely made out of electricity, or energy, or whatever it is. And he has this cool rock armor that has moss on it. It genuinely looks really good. It weirdly seems like modern Ben 10's really good with electric aliens. And plus he can do a lot more than just use electricity as a weapon. He can make energy shields, he can make energy weapons like swords and scythes. He can even increase his hand size. He is really cool, honestly. He's got a lot of cool powers, he's got a cool design, he's really cool. But unfortunately, because he's in this piece of crap, not many people will know how cool he is. Shockrock is undoubtedly a gem within a piece of garbage. An alien I would love to see in a different form of Ben 10 that isn't so stupid. Gives Shockrock a second chance to be actually awesome in a better Ben 10. Shockrock, from what I've seen, is one of the most underrated Ben 10 aliens I've ever seen. And Shockrock is easily, no difficulty, the best alien to come out of this crappy series. One of the only things the series got right. Hey, one of the precursors to one of my favorite aliens. This is Ditto. And Ditto's been in the original Ben 10 and Omniverse. His power is the ability to clone himself. And honestly, this alien's pretty cool. I like his design. His power is pretty cool, and he has a very unique voice. Not much to say about Ditto, but hey, he's a really cool alien and he's one of my faves, so there you go. Oh, you. This is surprisingly a really cool alien for being a knockoff of another alien. But if you can't guess by Edel's name, he's basically like Upchuck. He eats something, he can expel it in an energy blast. Except unlike Upchuck, who throws up the energy blast, Edel shoots the energy blast from the antenna on his head. When it comes to design, Ultimate Alien Edel looks really crappy. Like, no. He is way too robotic. But Omniverse fixed that by actually making him look like a beetle. So that's why Omniverse is my favorite design of Edel. All I have to say other than that is, even though he's another knockoff alien, if I had the choice between Edel and Upchuck, Edel every day, baby. Hey, one of the most underrated aliens in Ben 10. This is... And this electric alien is pretty cool, actually, and I don't see him getting talked about that much. First off, I love his design. It's like a jellyfish. It's really cool and creative for the type of alien he's supposed to be. Also, this alien can fly, which is very useful. I mean, how many electric flying aliens are there in Ben 10? Also, he can breathe underwater, which makes sense because, he is a jellyfish. But other than that, Amphibian's probably my second favorite electric alien. Amphibian's really cool. My god, this alien got dogged so bad for no reason. If you haven't watched Omniverse and you know who this is, you're a goat. This is Guy, and he's appeared in both the original series and Omniverse. But this alien was disrespected in the original series. Like, Waybig made one appearance, but it was in the movie, when he had a good amount of screen time. While Guy got one. Only one appearance in one episode at the end of Season 3 of Ben 10, which, if I'm correct, is the last season of that series. So this dude, for years, only had one episode to his name. But thankfully, Omniverse brought him back and gave him the glory he deserved. First off, this alien's design is so cool because he is like this mutant thing that has like millions of eyes all over its body. And its face honestly reminds me of a clicker from The Last of Us. It's epic. And this alien's power consists of shooting lasers out of his eyes, which are all over his body. And he can see out of all of the eyes. So that means he has 360 vision, so you're not escaping his sight. And all of them can shoot lasers! Thankfully, because of Omniverse, I can give this guy a fair spot on the list. But honestly, if he had more appearances in the original series, he probably would be even higher than he is already. I just don't get why they wouldn't give Guy more screen time. He is a really cool, creative alien. Hey, another unique alien. His name is... And if you can't tell, he's a giant sea turtle. But with some really cool and unique powers. And Terraspin's power is that he literally becomes a giant fan and he spins around and creates a vortex of wind that is very powerful. Like, powerful enough to create a tornado. He's the only Ben 10 alien that uses wind as a power. And it's a really cool power in my opinion. And plus, I really just love his giant sea turtle design. I really like it. What can I say except...
I like turtles.
Yes, the best little alien. This is Mustache. And he's exactly that, a mole with a mustache. A mustache that has powers! This versatile piece of facial hair can be turned into a bunch of different things, including a propeller, which, as you can tell by the photo I'm using, helps him fly. The mole is airborne. But his mustache can also be used as a parachute, and can turn into fists to throw hands. Well, throw stashes in his case, but whatever. And even though they don't use him that much, I still really like Mustache. Well, if it isn't Waybig's ultimate weakness. This is Blocks, which, if you can't tell, is a walking, talking, breathing Lego set. And he can morph his body into whatever he wants, basically. And since his blocks are pretty durable, it's not too easy to break out of them. But it's still possible. And he's morphed his body into a lot of different things, but I think my favorite thing that he morphed his body into was a gun. Oh, sorry, blaster. A Lego blaster. And it was specifically his arm. He morphed his arm into a Lego blaster. And Block's design's okay, it's kind of like a gorilla made out of Legos. But to be completely honest, this alien really turned me away from the series because of the fact I thought it was going to be a goof fest since, gorilla Lego. But Blocks is genuinely a really cool alien. Another unique alien. This is Crashhopper. And if you can't tell by the wordplay in his name, he's a grasshopper that has a very hard head and can jump very high. And he's unique because of the fact that he can jump super high and no other alien can do that. At least not like he can. But that's really the only way he fights, which is jumping into people and headbutting them. Other than that, he's an okay alien, but not one of my personal favorites. But hey, Crashhopper's a pretty good alien for Omniverse. Hey, there's my favorite 4,000-pound lizard.
I don't actually know his weight.
But anyway, this is...
Humongosaur!
aka the physically strongest Ben 10 alien. Humongosaur is kind of a unit. Basically, he's extremely durable, and in my opinion, a better version of Forearms, basically. He's another strength alien, super strong. I mean, he threw a house in basically the equivalent of his base form. Yeah, he gets even stronger than that. I'm not even talking about like alternate transformations or anything. No, he physically gets stronger than that. Because he can increase his size, and he grows tall enough to get up to Waybig's knee. Do you realize how impressive that is? Waybig is not only as tall, but if not taller than any normal skyscraper. So by Humongosaur coming up to his knee, he's probably around about the size of a 2-story average home. So if you live in a 2-story average home, just know you're living in something round about the same size as this thing at full size. Hell, he might be taller than that. But there is only one reason why he's all the way back in number 7. The amount of times this man Humongosaur has been dogged is unbelievable. Like, this thing is like a 1,000-pound dinosaur with a punch that could send you back to the Stone Age, and he's getting tossed around like a fucking ragdoll. Humongosaur would be higher on the list if he didn't get dogged so much. But other than that, this boy Humongosaur is a unit. Oh no, not the... alien. This is Gutrot, another unique alien. Okay, so his power is that his gut is a chemical lab, and then he mixes certain compounds and expels them in the form of gas. AKA is an alien that can make all forms of gas. And the gas I remember him making from the show is tear gas, laughing gas, and sleeping gas. But think about this. This alien can make any gas. So this alien could theoretically make all kinds of deadly gases, and there is a lot of them. I really like his design too, it's cool looking. But if it wasn't for the aliens that are up next, Gutrot would probably be one of my favorites. Hey look, another alien that first appeared in a movie! This is Shock Squatch. And just like Nanomeg, his first appearance was in a movie. Shock Squatch's first canon appearance in the series was in Ben 10 Generator X Heroes United. And I haven't watched this one either because of the fact I can't find it anywhere. But I can say with confidence, after seeing Shock Squatch from Heroes United, he looks a lot better in Omniverse. The bulkier design of Omniverse fits Shock Squatch a lot better than, well, this. But if you can't tell by his name, he's an electric alien. He conducts electricity. And he can attack you with it in multiple ways, such as slamming the ground, shooting it at you, and even giving you a massive bear hug that ends up in you getting electrocuted. Also, one extra thing, I love that they gave this alien a Canadian accent. I don't know why it fits so well, but it fits perfectly. So Shock Squatch is not only a really cool alien, but the first actually good electric alien.
Dear Lord, that's a big boy.
This is... This alien doesn't really have any new powers. The only difference between normal Waybig and ultimate Waybig is ultimate Waybig's a lot bigger than normal Waybig. But the reason why he's this high is because I really do like his design. The red and white looks good, but the red, white, and blue just meshes together so well. And plus, Waybig's just a cool alien, so it's cool to have a ultimate version. And plus, Ultimate Waybig gets the pass for not worrying about powers because he only appeared in one episode, and it was the season finale. Ultimate Wildmutt doesn't get that card because of the fact he was in 2 episodes. Yeah, Ultimate Waybig might not be that much different from normal Waybig, but Ultimate Waybig is way cool. To be honest, I didn't even know he had an ultimate, but oh my god, I'm so glad he does. This is Ultimate Wrath. This is what he looks like while Albedo is in control of him. This is what he would look like if Ben was. But Ultimate Wrath, unfortunately only appearing in 1 episode of Omniverse. Seems like he actually is an improvement over Wrath, because obviously first off, he has 2 claws now. Also, I'm sure he's stronger than normal Wrath. But also, most of the time when people become Wrath, even Azimuth, they just go completely berserk and put on the Wrath personality, as I call it. Which is basically being a loudmouth jackass that thinks he's better than everybody else. And is always ready to scrap. But Albedo in this form acts a lot more calm, so maybe this version of Wrath is a lot calmer than the normal version. In short, Ultimate Wrath didn't get much time to shine, but the time he did was pretty epic. And honestly, if we got to see more of this alien, I would have absolutely adored it. And seeing an ultimate version of one of my favorite aliens is just awesome. Ultimate Wrath rules. Man, this alien got even less screen time than Ultimate Wrath. This is Ultimate Arctiguana. And of course his powers are basically the same because he only got a couple seconds of screen time. He shoots ice beams, but instead of out of his mouth, he shoots them out of the cannons on his shoulders. By the way, this is what Albedo's Arctiguana looks like. This is what Ben's would look like. But the reason why I put this alien so high on the list is his design. His design looks amazing for having only a couple of seconds of screen time. He really does look like an ultimate version of Arctiguana. The cannons on his shoulders, the giant ice shell on his back, it's all perfect. The way they did this design was brilliant. Bravo on whoever came up with this. Ultimate Arctiguana didn't get much screen time, but he is one cool looking alien. Well, if it isn't the walking nuclear bomb. This is Atomics, aka, as I said, a walking nuclear bomb. This alien is considered one of the most powerful aliens of Ben 10, and I can see why. Again, walking nuclear bomb. But for some reason, Omniverse was trying to hype up this alien to be the next Alien X. Like, they were really trying to convince us that this alien was as strong as Alien X. And as I've explained before, Alien X is a god. But seriously, Alien X is unstoppable. Like, Atomics is strong and all, but there's a difference between a nuclear bomb and a god. But anyway, this is about Atomics. If you can't tell by the fact that I keep calling him a walking nuclear bomb, his powers are nuclear. He shoots nuclear blasts, which aren't anything to scoff at. Also, I really do like Atomic's design. Like, I can't deny that looks cool. The only problem I have with him is his voice. Like, for such a unit, you would expect him to have, like, this super commanding voice, yet this is his voice.
Grandfather, keep him safe!
Like, I'd expect this motherfucker to ask me for a cup of tea before he did this shit.
Nuclear winner!
Atomics is a very powerful alien. I wouldn't consider him stronger than Clockwork or Alien X, but he's pretty high up there. And his design's really dope looking. The only thing holding this alien so far back for me is the fact of his voice. It just sounds way too stupid. Finally, an actual good fusion. This is Crash Shocker. He's a fusion between Crash Hopper and Shock Squatch. This alien meshes these two complete polar opposite aliens together so well. And each alien has something different to contribute to the fusion. Crash Hopper brings the incredible ability to jump extremely high and hard, and his hard head in order to ram things. And Shock Squatch brings, well, electric powers. Also, I just love this design. The skinny underbody with the large upper body, that just looks great. And the color scheme, the darker green with the black and white, that just looks really good. Crash Shocker is not only a really useful alien, but a really cool looking one. Crash Shocker's awesome. Now that's an interesting combo. This is Goop Mungosaur. He's a fusion of Goop and Humungosaur. He has the powers of Goop, which that means he is basically immortal, and the super strength of Humungosaur. So he can take some serious damage and deal some serious damage. But he still has Goop's ultimate weakness, which is that little hover thing above his head. So if you don't know how to take out Goop Mungosaur, it's going to be extremely difficult. If you do, it's going to be a little less difficult. Also, I love Goop's design, so seeing it in the form of a ginormous dinosaur is awesome. Goop Mungosaur is not only pretty useful except for his one weakness, but also really cool looking. Ah yes, the mightiest of dinos. This is...
Ultimate Humungosaur.
which is Humungosaur, but a lot stronger. And bigger. Also, fun fact, Ultimate Humungosaur is the first Ultimate to appear in the series. But Ultimate Humungosaur's design's pretty okay. I like the armored look on him. And plus, this is the only time the ball with the spikes on his tail actually works. But Ultimate Humungosaur is even more of a unit than normal Humungosaur is. He's a little taller than normal Humungosaur. Basing on the fact we've never seen Ultimate Humungosaur grow in size, I'm gonna guess he lost that ability. Also, he's a lot more physically strong and durable than the original Humungosaur. Like, this thing took a hit from Azimuth's sword, which is a weapon that was able to hurt a being that could take over the entire universe with just a thought. If you can't tell, that is a very insane feat. Ultimate Humungosaur is a hefty boy. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, then he's just a buffed version of normal Humungosaur, right? Wrong, he can do this. Yes, he just turned his hand into a gun. Yes, both of his hands can turn into guns. And finally, this is what he fires. Yep, he shoots missiles, and that's the main thing that makes him different from normal Humungosaur. So this alien's extremely large, extremely strong, extremely durable, and can turn his hands into guns that shoot missiles. Ultimate Humungosaur is a beast, and other than Ultimate Waybig is probably the strongest alien out of all the Ultimate aliens. So Ultimate Humungosaur not only has a really good design, but is a unit. This fusion is perfect. This is Forearm. He's a fusion between Forearms and Humungosaur. Yeah, neither one really brings anything new to the plate that the other didn't already do, but this alien is still a perfect fusion. And since it splits the power by 10, this thing is 10% as strong as Humungosaur and 10% as strong as Forearms. And for what I've seen, Forearms' most impressive feat is him catching missiles. And Humungosaur's most impressive feat that I've seen in his normal form, not his giant form, was him chucking a house at Agrigor. And then you take 10% of that strength away. You still have 90% of the strength from both of them combined. So theoretically, this alien's not only just as strong as normal Humungosaur, but probably much stronger. And plus, just like Forearms, he, well, has 4 arms. So he's got 4 arms of muscle that could theoretically chuck a house. Or heavier. But it's not even just that. Forearms and Humungosaur fused together look so cool. And I know this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I like Omniverse's Forearms design. I especially like the facial hair, which it seems a lot of people hate, but I think it fits Forearms perfectly. But to see that facial hair on Humungosaur's body with 4 arms and the red color scheme and the spikes and it just looks so good. With Forearms, he just looks a little too bland with just looking like a normal dude with 4 arms. And Humungosaur definitely looks too bland because he's just an overgrown dinosaur. But this is so good looking because of the fact it's a 4-armed dinosaur with extra details to make it look better. I genuinely like this alien way more than I like Forearms or Humungosaur. Forearmgosaur is awesome. I think this might just be the strongest alien in all of Ben 10. This is Atomic X. He is a fusion between Atomics, the walking nuclear bomb, and Alien X, the alien god! Remember how I said each of the alien fusions are 10% weaker than the original alien? This rule applies to the Atomics part of Atomic X, But Alien X's power is literally infinite. You know, this sign? Infinite. Which means either A, Alien X's power can't be split in half, so he is just as strong as Alien X, or somehow this infinite can be cut in half, but when you cut infinite in half, you just get another infinite. So either way, this alien's power is literally infinite. The reason why Atomic X is this high is first off, his design is dope. It looks awesome. And second off, this is the most useful alien ever. He has all of the powers of Alien X. And remember, Alien X can survive a universe being destroyed around him. And they took away the one thing that made Alien X kinda useless. Serena and Bellicus, the voices in the head. Which means he doesn't have to debate at all to use any of his powers. Which means he has the insane abilities Atomix had already, which is being a nuclear bomb, paired with basically whatever the hell he wants. Atomic X is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful alien in the Omnitrix. But most people don't count him as a normal alien because he is a fusion, and that's kind of the same here, but I'm gonna chalk him up with normal aliens. Atomic X is not only one of the most powerful aliens we've ever seen in Ben 10, but he looks good being that powerful. Atomic X is easily the best fusion they made canon. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Please, for the love of God, hear me out. Hear me out. Quiet, please. I need to hear me out. Quiet! Let me explain myself. Christ. For the people that don't know what that was about, this is Diamond Head. By far the most beloved alien in the entire Ben 10 franchise from what I've seen. Like, people like him more than they like Forearms. And that is already a controversial place where I put Forearms. But I'm not saying I don't like Diamond Head. Diamond Head has a really cool design. Like, one of the best designs in the entire series. Also, he's the third alien Ben ever turned into in the entire series. So he was the first. He has seen everything. And his powers consist of being hard as diamonds, aka being extremely durable. If you do hurt him, he has some form of regeneration because he can grow back his diamond parts. He can make more diamond-esque stuff by putting his hand to the ground and creating it, or pull more of the stuff out of the ground and then levitate it with, I don't know, the force, if I know. He can morph his body parts into shields, swords, and also shoot long-range diamond projectiles. Also, he's strong enough to keep up with Forearms, which is the strength alien. So basically, if you want a job done, Diamond Head's the way to go. He's old reliable. But there is two main reasons why I have him in the spot I do. He's a really cool alien, but the aliens I have above him are, in my opinion, better. Again, this is my opinion. I want to repeat that. My opinion! Because I know if any toxic Ben 10 fans are watching this, they're gonna go in the comments and roast the aliens I have above him because they think that Diamond Head's better. And from a useful standpoint, yes. But from my personal opinion, no. Also, another thing is while his physical alien design is really cool, God, his drip is always off. Well, let's see. In the classic series, it looks like he's wearing a spandex suit like Spider-Man, which to me, of a man of this stature, does not fit at all. Then there's the UAF design. Do I even need to explain why this looks ugly? Even though I don't have to, I will. It's the same problem as the original, where it looks like he's wearing spandex, but now he has a hoodie. God, that looks so much worse. Then there's arguably the best drip he has, which is an Omniverse, which while thankfully they dropped the spandex look, at the same time it still looks off because of the big green stripe in the middle. And the crappy reboot, it's got the spandex thing again, except with a big yellow stripe in the middle. It looks hideous. Like seriously, there is no good drip for him. Actually, look at this fan art I found. This is really good drip for Diamond Head. I don't know why this isn't already canon for this character for a suit he wears. It looks amazing. But yeah, those are the only things holding Diamond Head back for me. His drip, and personally I like the other aliens better. But other than that, Diamond Head is an amazing alien. You know, I didn't like you at first, but you've grown on me. This is...
Brainstorm!
And this is my favorite hyper-intelligent alien. Basically, if you don't know what his powers is, he's super smart like Grey Matter is, except he's a lot better. Like, first off, he's not the size of a jar of mayonnaise. Second off, he's a crustacean, so his armor's gotta be pretty durable. Third off, he's funnier than Grey Matter was. Like, the joke with Grey Matter is that he's tiny. But Brainstorm's out here hitting people with these intellectual quips like it's nothing. Like, it's genuinely funnier to watch Brainstorm than it is to watch Grey Matter. And finally, he's actually useful in a fight. Like, Grey Matter was completely useless in a fight, while Brainstorm, after he splits his head open, reveals his brain to where he can shoot electricity from it. I find that to be a lot better than what they did with Grey Matter. Even though Brainstorm species aren't as smart as the Galvin, aka Grey Matter species, I would take Brainstorm every day compared to Grey Matter. He wasn't just tiny, but he was just basically useless. Brainstorm is actually really useful and kinda cool. As I stated, funny. Ah yes, one of my guilty pleasure aliens. This is Upgrade. He made an appearance in the original Omniverse and the crappy reboot. But this alien, while having one of the most simple designs, is also one of the coolest designs. Like the green on black on white. Ooh, it's so good! One thing you're going to learn about me with Ben 10 is most of the time, too much green is bad. But with some aliens, the green works perfectly. And for Upgrade, the green is perfect. And he has some of the most unique tech powers I've ever seen. Upgrade, or as they're called in the show, galvanic mechamorphs, have the ability to possess any technology and upgrade it, obviously. They physically have the ability to become technology. And whatever technology they become becomes better because of the fact that they're possessing it. This alien's one of the most unique tech aliens ever made. And what I mean by ever made is that even some aliens from pop culture that isn't Ben 10 pale in comparison to this alien. When it comes to tech, Upgrade's your guy. I think this is the most underrated Ben 10 alien ever created. This, my friends, is Wild Mutt, and he's appeared in the original series, Ultimate Alien, and Omniverse. What is Wild Mutt? Well, I actually know this one's species name, and it's called a Vulpamancer. And what is a Vulpamancer? It's a giant space dog. Flat out, it's a giant space dog that can swing around like a monkey. But basically, Wild Mutt has everything a wild animal would normally have to fight, which is sharp claws and sharp teeth and a powerful bite force. And since, as you can clearly tell, it doesn't have eyes, it relies on its sense of smell and, I think, either echolocation or thermal vision to see its surroundings. So basically, there's no sneaking up on this thing. Also, this is the only one of Ben's aliens that he can't talk. So he literally just roars and growls, and that's the only form of communication he can do in Wild Mutt form. And my god, the roar they gave to this thing is so cool. Like, listen to this! That sounds so terrifying. Like, imagine just walking in the woods and hearing that. But because of how absolutely savage Wild Mutt is and his amazing design, that's why he's one of my favorites. Hey look, another godlike alien. This is the one and only... aka the second strongest alien next to Alien X in the Omnitrix. And I know that there's going to be the non-Ben 10 fans that are going to be like, how is this piece of tin even close to the same strength as Alien X? Is he as durable? No. He got one-tapped by an average blaster shot. What about powers? There you go. Clockwork has the ability to control time. He can glimpse into the past using his wind-up thing on his head. He can slow down time to make himself faster than everything else around him. Oh yeah, and he can shoot a giant laser beam. And it's not an ordinary laser he shoots. He shoots a time beam. What's a time beam? A time beam is a laser beam that rapidly ages something or someone so quickly that they eventually turn to dust. And he shoots a giant one of these time lasers out of his chest. So just as easily as Clockwork can be one-tapped, he can one-tap you. Like, when it comes to physical abilities and strength and durability and stuff, he's nowhere near Alien X strength. But when it comes to that specific power, he is one of the most powerful aliens in the Omnitrix. And the second strongest. Not much to say about Clockwork except he's one badass clock. And if you mess with him...
Your time is up.
Another underutilized alien. This is Arctiguana. He appeared in the original series and of course Omniverse. Just like iGuy and Spitter, he only got a couple episodes to shine. But thankfully, he was in 2 separate episodes instead of 1. And of course, Arctiguana's powers consist of him shooting an ice beam that can freeze anything instantly. Which already is a really good power. And plus, the way this alien works, compared to its real-life counterpart, is awesome. Unlike a real iguana that likes it hot, I'm gonna guess Arctiguana species likes it nice and cold. And I really like his design, and my favorite form of his design is actually an Omniverse. I like how they made him more bulky. And I don't really see any flaws with him. So yeah, Arctiguana's one cool lizard. Ah, the only fire alien gone nuclear. Nice. This right here is...
Energy!
And just like XLR8, it's not energy, it's NRG. Honestly, a lot easier to say than XLR8. But anyway, NRG is a walking furnace. He gets hot. He can make his armor red hot. And he can shoot a concentrated beam of heat out of his faceplate. Oh yeah, he can also turn the ground to molten rock. But you're probably wondering, why do I keep referring to his body as armor? That's because it is armor. This is what NRG really looks like. And the reason why he has to stay in his armor is because he's radioactive. And if he's out for long enough, if anyone were to even get near him, they could drop. And if you know what I mean by drop, then you get why he stays in the armor. Also, this form of NRG consumes pure, well, energy. NRG is a really cool looking alien too. I mean, look at that armor, dude. That looks sick. But other than that, all I had to say about NRG is DOPE. Holy dear God. This is...
Ultimate Spider Monkey!
Yeah, do I really need to explain why this one's absolutely terrifying? It's a silverback gorilla with 4 very sharp spider arms that can spit webs and can climb on walls. Do you know how powerful your average silverback gorilla is? A silverback gorilla is as strong as 20 human adults and can average lift 4,000 pounds. To give you an example of what a silverback could lift, a white rhino. Yeah, 4,000 pounds ain't light. Now imagine that with spider arms hitting with that kind of strength that are sharp. He could impale you instantly. And plus Ultimate Spider Monkey just hitting you could kill you instantly. But to add on to that, he can also crawl around on walls, so he could hang upside down. Plus adding the fact that he literally throws up web fluid to wrap you up in it. Do you know how strong webs are? Webs are literally as strong as steel. So Ultimate Spider Monkey can not only spin you up in webs stronger than steel, but he can also hit you with the force of a freight train. Even if in the show he doesn't show this kind of strength. But scientifically, that's how strong Ultimate Spider Monkey is. Oh yeah, also his design, I really do like it. Again, it's a silverback gorilla. I love gorillas. And the purple color scheme mixes with the black perfectly and makes the green pop. Honestly, it's one of the most unique ultimate designs other than Ultimate Swampfire, and you already know how I feel about that. But Ultimate Spider Monkey is not only just a cool looking alien, but scientifically a terrifying alien. Also, one of my favorite ultimates. Oh yeah, the only alien that's part animal, part power tool. This is... If you can't tell by his name, he is an armadillo. That's also a drill. His powers are pretty straightforward. He's big, he's durable, and his hands are drills. Actually, they're more like jackhammers. But he's simple. He drills into the ground, and he hits really, 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 really hard. I mean, his hands are jackhammers, for Christ's sakes. What do you expect? But what really wins me over with Armadillo is his design. He just looks so cool. I love how big and menacing he looks. And the way his claws retract into his hand whenever he uses his drill part, god, that is cool. And plus, other than just his name, you can tell that he's an armadillo still. The dude has a tail. One of the more simple bruiser aliens, but my god, Armadillo rules. Yeah, we all knew this one was coming. This is...
Ultimate Echo.
I mean, what's not to love about this alien? He is everything an ultimate alien should be. First off, his design. He resembles Echo, but not so much that it's just a carbon copy of Echo. He looks like a different alien. Speaking of his design is fire. The blue glowy bits all over his body. The cyan perfectly meshing with the dark blue and black color scheme. There's just the right amount of green in there. And plus, his design is just godlike. And another thing he does that an ultimate alien should do is take the abilities of the original alien and enhance them or change them in such a way that you can tell it's still the same alien, but you can also tell it's a different alien. And the way they did this was brilliant. He still can technically scream, but out of the blue things all over his body, a sonic wave comes out of those things. And to make up for the fact that he can't clone anymore, now he can disconnect the sonic discs on his body, which are the glowing cyan things all over his body, and use those to make a sonic clone, basically. And this alien's strong enough to take down Kevin Levin after he absorbs the energy from the Omnitrix, with basically one attack. But I think anyone in their right mind that has watched Ultimate Alien knows that Ultimate Echo is not only the best Ultimate Alien, but is the most goated Ultimate Alien as well. Ultimate Echo rules. Only now I'm realizing I have a weird taste in aliens. This is... And yet again, he's an alien that has completely original powers. His power is you see those holes in his hands? He can shoot water from them. And I mean like fire hydrant or fire hose power. And I know water's droplets are pretty light, but when you get a bunch of water together, it's heavy. And this attack honestly would probably hurt like hell. But that's not why he's at the top here. Another reason why he's up here is because he has an extra ability, other than being able to throw hands like Jackie Chan. He can absorb the moisture from the air. And just to give you an example, dry air is not only hotter, but just worse than moist air. And Water Hazard can make the air drier than Arizona in the summer. Also, his design's just really, really cool looking. Like, it's clear he's supposed to be some kind of crustacean. But Water Hazard's not only just a really cool looking alien, but he's also the only alien that can shoot water out of him and absorb the moisture out of the air. That's just cool. Well, if it isn't better Jet Ray. This is Astrodactyl. And he is by far the most creative flying alien that's meant to just fly. And as I said, he's a better version of Jetray. He actually has both parts of his name in his design. I mean, you can easily tell he's a pterodactyl by his design. But since his wings are from a jetpack, it makes it look, well, astronaut-like. Or it shows that he's suitable for space travel. So unlike Jetray, who just has the ray in Jetray, Astrodactyl has the Astro Endactyl in Astrodactyl. Also, Astrodactyl's really creative when it comes to his powers. Like, obviously can shoot a laser, but he shoots it out of his mouth. But who cares about that? Let's get to the cool stuff. But Astrodactyl has the ability to summon laser whips from his wrists. Bro's like a 19th century Wolverine. And his second ability comes from his jetpack, in which he shoots a ring of energy whenever he takes off a certain way, and the ring of energy is explosive. But you can't tell me those powers are not cool. Even his voice fits the alien. Everything about this alien is perfect. That's why he is probably the best flying alien. Astrodactyl is not only a unique entry into the Omnitrix, but one of its best. Come on, it would be a crime if he wasn't this high on the list. This is... And let me tell you something, viewer watching at home. Wrath is really cool. Yes, he is another strength-based alien. Yes, he doesn't really have any other superpowers. But yes, he is super cool still. He is definitely my favorite alien with super strength. Basically, if you can't tell what Wrath is, he's basically a roided-out tiger with breathtaking anger issues. Like, seriously, Wrath's entire species are hard-headed, angry idiots. That's exactly how they're described in the show. Actually, that temperament's so common among their species that it actually changes Ben's personality being Wrath. It actually makes him a lot more aggressive. And like I said, his powers are super strength, and he also has those two Wolverine-like claws on the side of his hands, which are very good for tearing into things. But come on, we all know Wrath's best quality, any Ben 10 fan will, which is that this man is so funny. It is such a treat to watch this man rage out and just scream at people for no reason other than the fact that he is Wrath. He's like your average person from Texas. Really dumb, hard-headed, and very aggressive. But you definitely do not want to cross Wrath. He would put you in the dirt, probably. And he'll be screaming the entire time. In short, Wrath is the true definition of a musclehead, and I love him for that. Well, it really was a matter of time before we had to talk about this alien. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the one and only Alien X! AKA one of the most broken things in all of fiction. This is not only hypothetically one of Ben's strongest aliens, but this one alien has caused so many debates. Specifically with Goku stans. Because this thing is one of the most powerful things ever created in fiction. You don't believe me? Oh, let's get into that. Normally I would say all of his powers, but this thing has so many powers, I can't list them all off. Just look up the wiki. But the best way to describe Alien X is literally alien god. That's literally the best way to describe him. He is an alien god. He can do basically anything you can imagine. But here's two of my favorite feats from these specific aliens. First off, basically in Omniverse there was an arc with this thing called the Annihilarg, which could blow up entire universes. So yeah. So one of these Annihilargs go off in Ben's universe, and he turns into Alien X. And I joke you not, this alien tanked a bomb strong enough to destroy an entire universe. I think you can realize how insane that is. Alien X tanks something that could destroy an entire universe. And what's even funnier is that after the fact, he recreated the universe almost exactly the way it was. Literally, the only difference was the smoothies. Apparently, the grape one tasted different. So this alien not only tanked the bomb that not only could destroy the universe, but did destroy the universe, and then he just casually recreated it. And if you think that's wild, oh, you haven't heard anything yet. So basically, after he recreated the universe, he got put on trial by like an intergalactic court because he did that. And the person defending Ben in this case brings up the fact that the universe has been shifted multiple times, aka the art style. He brought up the art style and how the Alien X species actually changed the universe's art style. So that means the in-universe reason why the art style changes so much is because these Alien X species just change it on a whim. Now that's crazy. And basically, after all of that, Alien X is just shown to be just an absolute powerhouse. Like I said, alien god. But the only reason why he's not higher on this list is for two main reasons. One, which is his Achilles heel, and the reason why Ben doesn't use him that much, is because in his head, there's two other people along with Ben controlling Alien X. And they have to physically agree on something in their head before they can do anything. So, before they make a decision, they're just a lifeless corpse that's as still and hard as a statue. So basically, Ben has godlike powers at his fingertips, but he can't control it because he can't get the two voices in his head to agree. That's why all throughout Alien Force, Alien X was basically useless. There's that, and then there's one other reason. The crappy reboot. They gave a Ben full control of Alien X with all of his powers, and somehow, this literal alien god got beat by Ripjaws, which we covered last time and we know is basically useless. Blocks, which is living Lego. Chromastone, which we just covered, and how he's basically a Walmart version of Diamond Head. Amphibian, which I don't know what he is, but he's okay, but he ain't beaten Alien X. Heat Blast, which I love Heat Blast, but there is no way in hell he's beating Alien X. And Forearms. And somehow this ragtag group of aliens, somehow in God's green earth, beat this. This guy is Alien X, and he has not one, but 9 separate Omnitrixes on his body. This guy's not just Alien X, he's like an ultra version of Alien X. And somehow he got beat by that ragtag group of aliens, which disrespects Alien X's species so much that it takes Alien X himself down a peg. Alien X is an amazing alien, but he has a really bad drawback, and oh my god, he's been disrespected. If it ain't my favorite sludgy boy, this is... Goop is a really cool alien in my opinion. First off, he's basically impervious. Lasers, he can take it. Punches, he can take it. Being slammed at the ground at Mach Stupid, he can take it. But good luck trying to hit him in the first place because of how agile he is. Oh yeah, also he can turn his goop into acid. So he is literally walking acid. Goop sounds pretty strong, doesn't he? Well, he does have one weakness. See that little thing floating above Goop's head? Yeah, get rid of that, he can't move. Not even an inch. He seriously cannot move. Actually, Vilgax got his hands on the Omnitrix, and Ben intentionally turned him into Goop so he could take the floaty disc thing and leave him completely immobilized. So Goop's a mixture of the strongest alien and the weakest. But other than that, Goop is a really cool alien, and I love his design so much. It looks so cool. But in my opinion, Goop is one badass piece of sludge. Oh yeah. This is Feedback. Feedback is another alien that's just absolutely awesome. This alien is an electric alien, obviously, and he's basically a better version of Chromastone, where he's able to absorb energy and expel it. And instead of it being a laser beam, it's pure electricity. And he can shoot his lightning from a lot of different places, including his tail, his antennae, and his fingers. But you're probably saying, how is feedback better than Chromastone? 3 reasons, my dear viewer. 1. Electricity is a lot cooler than lasers. 2. Chromastone has a limit on how much energy he can absorb. While from what I witnessed in the series, feedback basically doesn't have one. And you wanna know how I could tell that? Chromastone took a shot from Dagon, which is an alien that theoretically could take over the entire universe with just a thought, and one blast from Dagon was able to fill up Chromastone's meter instantly. Oh yeah, and from what I've noticed, Chromastone isn't too good at absorbing electricity. But you wanna know what feat this guy has? Feedback absorbed the energy to equivalent the f***ing Big Bang! And if you don't know what the Big Bang is, oh, it's only the explosion that created this entire universe! It's basically the equivalent of the sun exploding. And this man, this menace feedback, actually held this thing like it was nothing. The dude is holding the Big Bang! And you want to know what makes this even crazier? Not that it can get much crazier than that, but this man feedback used this Big Bang as a weapon. And the way feedback did this was just absolutely diabolical.
You cannot do this!
You wanted your very own Big Bang!
Tell me adding Goku saying Kamehameha did not fit that at all. He literally made the pose, dude. This man feedback hit this man Maltrusin with that Kamehameha Big Bang edition. Made him implode on himself. And you're telling me that a creature that literally can hold the Big Bang in the palm of its hand, its only competition is a giant crystal alien that has a limit on how much energy you can take in. I think even if you like Chromastone, you have to admit, feedback's better. Anyway, back to my personal preference. But this man feedback's design is so slick. He looks so good. Like, the only thing that distracts me from his designs are the giant plugs, but even then, I can live with those. But feedback's not only a really cool looking alien, but he's a very, very useful alien as well. No wonder this was Omniverse Classic Ben's favorite alien. Feedback's f***ing dope. Hey look, it's the better version of Ditto and Blitzwolfer. This little guy's called... And as I stated before, Echo is just the better version of Blitzwolfer and Ditto. Blitzwolfer because he does sonar and he does it way better. I love how he's a screaming little white, I don't even know what he is. And he can clone himself, so there's the Ditto part. But I know there might be the people that are going to say, oh, but you said Swampfire is just a clone, so's Echo. And what I have to say to that is... You're right, he technically is a clone, but he's a much better version than Swampfire. He takes elements from the different aliens and improves upon it, in my opinion. Like, seriously, an army of these little guys was strong enough to take down a dragon. Yeah, it was a robot dragon, but it was still a dragon. And plus, Echo's seamless and perfectly simple design fits the alien perfectly. Because he is a bit of a simple alien, but a cool alien. Echo is one of the best aliens in Alien Force. There may be doubt in other people's mind, but not a doubt in my mind. Well, Lone Star, get out. The true magnet alien's here. This is Gravitac, aka the best alien from Omniverse. This alien makes Lone Star look really stupid. Because of the fact that he is a literal mini planet. He has the ability to control gravity, he has his own orbit, hell, he turned himself into a black hole once. Also, this alien is huge. This alien towers over Humongosaur. And also, this form he's in now isn't his only form. He can turn himself into a literal planet, form into a ball, and fly around. So this one alien has his own orbit, can control gravity, and can fly, and can breathe in space. And plus, oh my god, his design is so cool! The rocky texture with the cracks in it, the way his mouth is designed. I love how his planet's core is showing on the outside. This alien is so cool looking, and his voice ain't half bad either. All that I have to say about Gravitack is that this alien is breathtakingly awesome looking, and his powers are absolutely amazing and put Lone Star to shame, and this alien is just genuinely so cool and is the best alien to come out of Omniverse. Hey, it's one of the best designed aliens in all of Ben 10. This is XLR8. And yes, his name is literally spelled XLR8. XLR8 has appeared in the original Ben 10, Omniverse, and the crappy reboot. XLR8's power is, well, being super fast. He's the speed alien. And he might not be the fastest alien Ben has, but he's definitely the most creative and the best designed speed alien Ben has. Like, seriously, he's like a reptile of some sort, and he has a literal mask that comes down whenever he's running. That's amazing. And his only disadvantage is that he can't take a punch. But that really doesn't matter when you can run fast enough to literally run on water. I've never been a big fan of super speed, but when it comes to XLR8, he is badass.
Yes!
This is Ghost Freak, aka the best Halloween/horror alien. This alien has appeared in the original series, UAF, and Omniverse. Now, this is by far one of the coolest aliens Ben has, because he's not only important for plot, but he's also just a genuinely really cool alien. The only boring thing about Ghost Freak is his powers, where basically he just has every normal ghost power, except he has tentacles in his chest as an extra additive, keep him away from an anime aesthetic. Ghost Freak has plot relevance because of the fact that, well, Ghost Freak physically turns into a villain. Ghost Freak somehow escapes the Omnitrix, turns into a different form, and now he was a villain from that point. But every now and then there's continuity errors where he comes back in this form, and my god, Ghost Freak design gets worse with time. Like, in Alien Force, Ghost Freak is literally just villain Ghost Freak, but now he's Ben, and he has the Omnitrix symbol on him. It doesn't work. Then there's Ultimate Alien, where he makes an appearance, but it's just the original design with a green eye, which looks like crap compared to the classic one. You know how I said that sometimes with the Ben 10 aliens too much green was a disadvantage? This is one of the major times. But dear god, Omniverse. Oh my god, oh god, I'm not even going to talk about how ugly this is. But other than that, the original Ghost Freak is really, really cool looking. And honestly, I watched the show again recently, and even to this day, this mofo is terrifying. Like, seriously, Ghost Freak left this man Zombozo with bricks in his pants after he was done with him.
Now don't tell me you're afraid of old.
Oh yeah, that's right, he put so many bricks in his pants that apparently Zombozo exploded. Out of fear. The clown that eats laughter died of fear. That's how bad Ghost Freak scared this man. He made him explode out of fear. That's crazy. And you gotta admit that. And those are the reason Ghost Freak is one of my favorite aliens in the entire Ben 10 series. Well, now we're at the second best alien in the entire Ben 10 series. Huh. This is Heat Blast. He was in the original series, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, and the crappy reboot. And if I make a top 10 list for Ben 10 aliens, this will be number 2. I'll tell you that right now. Heat Blast design is the only design from the original series that stays fire, pun completely intended. Throughout the series, it just looks good. Hell, even the crappy reboot got Heat Blast right. That's how you know you made a good alien. But how can you mess up a literal alien that's made out of molten rock and fire, that's head resembles a skull? How can you mess that up? And his powers are just as cool, which obviously is fire. He can shoot fireballs. But also, just as easily as he can make a fire, he can put it out. Because he can literally absorb fire. He is literally the definition of fighting fire with fire. Oh yeah, also he can fly by shooting fire behind him. And also he can summon large boulders to ride on like a goddamn surfboard. Even when Ben's sick, this alien is good. One episode of the original series, Ben had a cold, and Heat Blast literally got ice powers because of the fact he had a cold. While the aliens he turned into in that episode got worse because of the fact he had a cold. Heat Blast's weakness, other than getting beat up, is a butt ton of water, which can put out his flame, but only for a couple seconds, then he's back to throwing fireballs. In short, this is the best alien out of the original 22. He is the definition of the GOAT. Well, it's about time my favorite alien showed up. This is aka the coolest alien in all of Ben 10, and yes, pun is completely intended. If you didn't get by my nod there, he's an ice alien. He shoots ice out of that vent, mouth, whatever it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, also he's like Ghost Freak. He has ghost powers. He can semi-turn invisible, phase through walls, and nothing can hit him while in that state. But unlike Ghost Freak, who couldn't do anything in that state, Big Chill, oh, he can do something in that state, alright. If he passes through you, he will freeze you solid. And if you don't think he can, oh, all of his ice is below zero. Like, negative 400 degrees. Or more. I don't know Pacific numbers, I know it's around about negative 400. And just to give you a rough estimate, to get hypothermia, you need to go under 25. If this dude freezed you, he would kill you. Thankfully, he's not freezing humans, but he's freezing aliens. Also, can we talk about Big Chill's design? My god, it is fire! The sleek body, the moth-like wings and insect-like eyes, the vent mouth thing, and the fact that when he puts his wings away, it looks like a cloak. Ugh, it's so chillingly cool. And plus, Big Chill's one of the most versatile aliens in Alien Force. He's like the go-to alien. He's the diamond head of Ben's aliens in Alien Force. And he can breathe in the vacuum of space and underwater. There's literally only 2 negatives to this alien, and they're not even that bad. The first one is obviously his weakness. He's kind of weak to electricity. And the other downside is that this alien's kind of like Ghost Freak and might take over your mind. But it's not going to try and kill anybody. It's probably because it's pregnant. Yeah, gender don't matter with him. He gives birth either way. Actually, kind of funny we're talking about that in Pride Month. But other than that, Big Chill is the coldest alien in the entire Omnitrix. And if I ever make a top 10 favorite aliens, expect him to be number 1, no matter what. Big Chill is obviously the best alien from Alien Force. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you were to rank them all differently, let me know in the comments. I love seeing different opinions on things I like. But with that being said, goodbye! Like the video, or Ben Tennyson's gonna come steal your girl.
I can't find him. I can't find him.
I will fly to Texas and kill you.
I can't find him. I can't
Leave them alone.
I swear to no.